see. Did I get the sound right? Everyone hear me all right? Let's see. Let me get my guitar all figured out. Hello. Who's here? What are we doing? Where you guys been for 2 weeks? I've been here. None of y'all showed up to the other streams. What was that about? Hi, my name's Bug. I'm in a band called Bug Hunter. I do streaming. Sounds like it might be a little quiet, so I'll turn it up a little bit. And if maybe that's better. You never know. Check 1 2. Check. We'll start there. And if it needs to be any louder than that, is my guitar coming through all right? Hopefully not too quiet. Tell me if my guitar sounds like something. Cool. Rad. Hey, I'm Bug. I haven't been here for a couple weeks. I normally stream on Wednesdays and Sundays, but I have been out of town and doing other things. I've been in Washington, D.C. I've been in Nashville. I haven't been gone this entire 2 weeks. It just always happened to be on Sundays and Wednesdays that I just wasn't here. So I've been home about half that time. But who do we have in the chat? Who stuck with us through my 2 week sabbatical? Tell me what song you want me to play first, and I'll read your names from there. And I'm gonna keep my thing from getting cool. Kirby is here. Verus Blackheart here. Coin here. Miles Bates here. Kaylin here. Lance Fishel. Driz. My dad is here. My mom is here. Corn, Lily, Joseph, Uguay, Persephone, Blair. Mars is here. Hello, Mars. Bird DIY is here. Fancy Clan Animation. Abiz. Bubbles the Blue Fox here. Noi. Brother Brainrot. Caleb Delisle. Good crew. What is up with this? Everybody's hanging out. I guess I should leave for 2 weeks more often. Everybody wants to come hang out with me. Cool. Babe Teeth. That's the first time you've mispronounced my username. It makes you feel any better. I did it on purpose. I know it's Persephone, but I was just being a little silly goose. So, advisory tick is here at the last second. Nobody else can be here. All right, I was reading your names. I wasn't reading what you guys wanted me to play. So I see Point to Prove, One Armed Hug, 2 for Alchemical. You can't, Miles. You can't just say 2. You can't. Everyone gets 1 vote. You can't just say you get 2 votes. Creator of Habit, Leg Day, May Kill Me. That's not a Bug Hunter song. Another one. A couple U-Tooths, a couple Babe Teeths. If y'all could decide to settle on one name for that, maybe I'd play it. A little more Alchemical Romance, Not Like That, Creature. Ooh, I see there's a bit of a pattern, but it's like equally on like 3 songs right now. That one's super cool, Tony, for eons. Yeah, I don't remember how to play it. We'd wear our finest clothes and backside in sunny rows and sing songs that someone wrote to guide us towards the truth. When those words caught inside my mouth, I'd bite my tongue and spit them out, believing tasted great but was impossible to choose. 'Cause your God, he clangs on the latitude lines, always at the worst times. When you finally shut your eyes, your God, he waits with the keys on his side and passes the time, making up the strangest stories for your life. And I don't know what happens when we die, but that won't change the way I live my life. Write down your fears and hopes and stick those in envelopes and send it out with no address. It never will be read, but prayer's good when needing therapy. Focus, heal, and find priority. Don't pretend they have effect when buried in your head. Drum solo and I lost each belief like baby teeth. One by one I pulled them gradually. Most would come out looking clean, but all the rest would I can listen to the lessons, but my head won't let me hear it and believe. And I don't know what happens when we die. That won't change the way I live my life. And I lost each belief like baby teeth. One by one I pulled them gradually. Most would come out looking clean, but all the rest would bleed. I can listen to the lessons, but my head won't let me hear it and believe. I don't know what happens when we die. That won't change the way I live my life. All I want before my time is up is a life that made a difference to someone. Did I mess it up? Mars is treating me like I messed it up. I did mess up a chord, but sometimes y'all don't notice that, so I don't call it out. But I don't know which Schrodinger's baby teeth I played that time. Bubbles noticed. Nothing ever gets by Bubbles the Blue Fox. What's up, everybody? Nobody lies like Bubbles the Blue Fox. Rowan, so I just want to say hi. Been busy. Don't worry. I've been busy too. Don't even feel bad. I haven't even been here. You probably didn't even notice. If you were busy, then you didn't even notice that I wasn't here the last 2 weeks, but that's okay. Do I remember how to play Francesco? No. I know Francesco was the mayor in the city by the shore. It's on the southern tip of Italy, known for tuna fish and tourists. He sends an email, has a meeting, poses for the local papers. One more email, has that meeting, then to dinner with his neighbors. That's Francesco. That's all I remember at the moment. If you don't know what Francesco is, it's a song from Jam Mechanics. If you don't know what Jam Mechanics is, that's a podcast from Bug Hunter and the Narcissus Cookbook. We have a very fun, good podcast that is in a mid-season or post-season break at the moment. But all of season 1 is up on all the podcast places. So if you're like, hey, I like Bug Hunter and I like Bug Hunter enough to come to one of his live streams on YouTube, you got no excuse. You should be listening to Jam Mechanics. It's a very good time. And everybody, this is one of those things that sometimes you don't want to be like, oh, like hopefully like people think. I know, chat will vouch for me. Chat will definitely vouch for me because a lot of people in chat will listen to Jam Mechanics, and we don't hear negativity about Jam Mechanics. It's a real fun time. Me and Matt, it's just me and Matt from Narcissus Cookbook, just recording how much fun we have. Creating music and talking to each other and hanging out and meeting up every other week to bust out a song. So it's a fun time. So there's like 10 more Bug Hunter demos literally right now at this moment that you're missing out on if you haven't listened to it, because that's what the show is. We give each other like challenges and then we come back with like demos that we wrote in 3 hours. And from what I've been told, they're surprisingly pretty decent. So Lily listened to all of them in one day, which is one strategy. But yeah, we're in a little break right now. We'll be back soon. Don't worry, we'll be good. Scissors Hand said just started listening to the podcast. And yeah, we're actually seeing like we put up our season 1 finale like early March or mid March or something like that. So it's been about 6 weeks that we've been off, and our numbers are actually still pretty decent. Like on a weekly basis. We were like rising. We were like big jump, big jump, big jump, big jump, and then we fell. But like our like weekly numbers are like as good in our off times as they were in like week 8. So we didn't even drop that much. So I think a lot of people are like finding it now that season 1 is done, and going back and like binge listening to it, which is great, because then when we get around to season 2, hopefully that'll just mean that there'll be more people that have listened to it. So Cornfield Crypto says, please play Alien at every show. The least popular song that I wrote on Jam Mechanics. Persephone says, finished it in a weekend and keep re-listening to it. I think it does actually have a pretty decent amount of re-listen ability. As the person who edits the show and has to listen to it like 10 to 12 times before y'all ever hear it, like minimum, I still am like happy to like put it on and listen to it. It makes me happy. It's like, hey, if you just have a audio evidence of you just having a fun hangout with your bud, it's fun for me to listen to. So does it tell you what episode people listen to the most? So as all things are, the first episode has the most listens, and then goes slowly down from there, because it's just like a funnel, right? If you get 10,000 people to check something out, maybe 5,000 of them will go to the next thing, and then maybe 2,000 of them will be like, okay, yeah, I really like that. But we have a really solid like listener base, yeah, there would be no reason that one episode would have more listens than the first one, given that I felt like we were pretty consistent in quality throughout the entire season. I don't think we had like an episode that was so much better than all the other ones. I felt like we pretty much did pretty good through the whole season. Yeah. Let's do a little. So if you've never been to a stream before, what I do is I normally play some Bug Hunter songs, and then in between I chit chat like this, a little cozy Q&A. So, Fantasy Clown Animation. No, my numbers were fake. It's not half of people drop off after each one. We have a better retention rate than that, but. So if you have a question for me, I'm happy to answer it. I'm also going to do this before we get into all that, because I just do want to get this in front of people. If you don't know, we're about a month from starting our tour, which feels crazy, because we had to delay the tour announcement and tickets on sale until Matt got the visa. So we're a little bit behind. Normally we would have liked to announce the tour probably back in like February or like early March. Ended up putting tickets on sale mid-April, just because the U.S. government takes a little while. But good news is Matt did get the visa. Everything is above board, and Matt's coming to the U.S. to play some songs. It's not a Jam Mechanics tour, but it is a Bug Hunter Narcissist Cookbook tour. So, didn't you just get off a tour like a couple months ago? Yeah, that's gonna be how it's gonna go for hopefully the foreseeable future. We finished up our U.S. tour July 31st of last year, so we're starting the next one June 2nd. So it'll be over a year between every show that we did. I don't think any show is happening. No, that's not true. Denver, because we switched Denver to our West Coast schedule instead of our Midwest schedule, Denver is happening less than a year later, but everything else is over a year later. So, if you haven't got tickets yet, the ticket link is in the description. A lot of them are going very quickly, especially the VIP tickets. They're gone in a couple of cities so far. So, we're starting in Portland, Oregon. I'm very excited for the show. It's cool because I have like the data from last year and the data from this year. Because anyone who knows me knows I love spreadsheets. And I have like a chart that shows like how many tickets we've sold and then how many tickets we've sold for the same city last year at this same like day. Like, if it's been like whatever, 16 days on sale. At 16 days on sale last year. So see if we're like how we're doing, and like Portland is like destroying last year's numbers. Last year at the same time we're almost double what we sold last year, which is great. Super excited about that. Then we're going to Sacramento, we're going to Hollywood, we're going to San Diego, we're going to Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is going to be the first show that sells out. Just FYI to anybody who might be living in Arizona, it's about 75% full at this point, which after 2 weeks on sale is pretty crazy. It's a lot like how last year went. I did a much better job of picking venues this year that can actually fit everybody. But yeah, Phoenix is just gonna it's sold it's also selling twice as fast as it did last year, so caught us off guard a little bit. We had a bigger venue in Phoenix that we could have used, but it was 21 plus, and so we chose a smaller venue so that we could do all ages. So which, you know, you win some, you lose some. Some people may not be able to come because it sells out versus not being able to come because they're not 21, but we didn't know ahead of time. So try and make the best decisions we can. Albuquerque, we're going to Albuquerque for the first time. Never been to Albuquerque. I've driven through it, but I've never like been or played there. So that should be fun. And, you know, it's one of those things where people are always like, oh, come to New Mexico. And we're just like, well, we don't know if we can bring people out in New Mexico. We've never been before, and we don't know like how big our fan base is there. So if you want us to come back, buy lots of tickets. But it's actually doing pretty well. It's selling better than Boise. So Boise, step up your game. Do you have an idea for how VIP tickets are looking for Hollywood? Yes, they're about half out. I believe they're either half out or almost half out. Yeah. Then we're going to Denver. We're going to Salt Lake City. We're going to Boise. Then we're ending that leg in Seattle. Then we're going to take a little like 2-month break where you know, Matt goes back home, does stuff there. I have some trips I need to take. We also don't like to be away from home for like 6 weeks at a time. It's just a lot, so we break things up. And so we're going to start up again in August in DC. The run from DC, New York to Boston is going to be super, super fun. Those venues are all very large, and they're all selling very, very well. So those should be some huge highlights for the year. Buffalo, after that, never been to Buffalo before. Excited for that. If you are a Torontoan, that might be your best bet, maybe, to come to a show, because it's easier for you to cross the border to come see a show than it is for us to cross the border to go work. So we got that, and then we got Akron, Ohio, Detroit, Indianapolis, first time playing there. Chicago, also going to be a huge show. Chicago has always shown up for our shows, which is great. Kansas City, first time there. Minneapolis, that one's selling really well. It sold out the VIP tickets in like a day. Weirdly, like a weird anomaly. Like nothing else even got close to selling out the first day. But Minneapolis was just like, no, we're all VIPs in Minneapolis. So then we're going to Madison, Wisconsin, first time there. St. Louis, Nashville, Oklahoma City, Dallas. We're going to Austin, Texas, which I haven't been. Matt's never been. I've been, but it's the first time Matt's been to Austin. So, and then we're doing Orlando and Jacksonville. So Florida, we didn't forget you guys this time like we did last year. Florida has, you know, Florida is the Pennsylvania of last year's tour, where we just skipped it this year for like no real good reason, other than just like logistics. Sorry, Pennsylvania. You deserved a show, just like Florida did last year. But we got you this year. And then Atlanta. And then we're going to end in Durham, North Carolina. So Tom Crane can only make one show this year. That's okay. We love when people come to multiple shows, but we also understand that it's logistically difficult. I think the best chances you have to come to multiple shows is probably the like Akron, Detroit, maybe like Indianapolis, Chicago, or if you came to like Chicago, Minneapolis, and Madison, even though they're a couple days apart, you could like take a break. But those would be easy ones to follow on. Hollywood and San Diego are also a couple like a 1-2 punch you could do. Trying to think what Dallas and Austin is probably another easy one. Orlando, Jacksonville, Atlanta is probably another like easy 3-leg to do. Yeah, we love it when people come to multiple shows, and we don't do the same set list every night. If you're thinking like, oh, I'll just go to one show, we change our set lists in some fashion every night, because I don't know, we had too many songs anyway. So yeah, Thigh Cabbage Folk says I was so sad when I couldn't get VIP tickets to Minneapolis. It'll still be a great show. It's going to be an awesome. But yeah, the VIP tickets just went so fast. I think we're out of VIP in Portland. Portland, technically, I haven't seen for a fact, but somebody today said that they bought the last 2. So Portland, I think. Sacramento is out. Phoenix is out. Denver has like 3 more. Seattle is out. New York has like 1 more. I think it's either 1 more or 0 more. Boston is out. Boston even put up 10 additional VIP tickets, more than they were supposed to, and we sold those out. That was the second show to sell out. So huge demand in Boston. We're so excited for Boston. Last year we did 2 shows in Boston because there was just so much demand and we couldn't, like, our venue was not big enough. So we did 2 shows. This year we have 1 show that should hold more people than both those shows combined, and it's like looking at selling out. So yeah, and then Minneapolis is sold out. So yeah, so I'm very excited about it. Anyways, if anybody has any questions for me, do a little cozy Q&A. That was my ticket tour spiel. It's gonna be so much fun. Caleb asks, with YouTube accounts finally reacting to you, what's one song you'd love to see reacted to? I'm not sure I know exactly what you're talking about, if there's some formal thing that you mean, but I did notice that my 2 bed 2 bath and a ghost video had like a thing under it that said it was like stitched with a short, and so I was like, what's that? And I looked at it, and it was this guy who does jogging music reviews. So like, how is this music for jogging? And he was like, I'm gonna play Happiness Without a Catch, and then it cuts, like, whatever he ran, and he was like, not really for me. I was like, oh, cool. I'm glad that YouTube put this video right under my video. Thanks, YouTube, for the only like link underneath my video being a bad review of Bug Hunter. Cool feature. Bubbles Blue Fox taking credit for it too. Appreciate you, Bubbles. Can you try again and get him to say something nice about me? No, I'm just kidding. Whatever. I don't need everyone to like my music. I'm just being silly. But yeah, we've had a couple other channels do like blind reactions to our music. Yeah, I always enjoy watching those. It was fun. I was watching the other day, somebody was reacting to the original like Dear McCracken lyric video from like 7 years ago, and that was cool for me because it's one of those things that like there's like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who listen to Bug Hunter, but it's become so abstracted from me because they do it when I'm not looking, and so I very rarely get to see people's like first genuine reactions to like to my music. They just come to shows and they already know it, and so to watch somebody like smile at the funny parts and react to the thing like in real time, it's fun. The only like form of that I get is when friends of fans come to shows and then I play Shocking Plot Twist, and then I can tell by people's faces who has heard it and who has not. Yeah, if y'all can make reaction videos, Kaylin has a great idea. I'll make a reaction to my Bug Hunter shirt, acting like I've never heard it. Everyone just make a reaction video like, oh, what's this? I've never heard of it. Oh, it's the best thing I've ever heard of in my life. Use that voice. Everybody has to do it in that voice. And then maybe we'll get real famous, all of us. Okay, we got some questions here. Pi recently discovered us and has been listening to 2 Bed 2 Bath and Dear McCracken on a loop. Those are good songs. Bubbles is leaving to go play Gary's Mod. Have a good time, Bubbles. I'm glad that you were here and you got that jogger guy to give me a bad review on me. It wasn't even one song. It was just me. Corn, would I rather have one really big cake or 100 small cupcakes? Definitely 100 small cupcakes, and here's why. I like dessert variety, and the idea that all of the cupcakes could all be different flavors is very exciting to me. Coin says, is there a song that you think will be on every set list this year that wasn't a guaranteed song in previous tours? Yeah, so what I've always said is the guaranteed songs at my shows are basically, unless something really weird happens, if like the crowd like absolutely like turns against me and just like mobs me and says like, you have to play $ sax and we're not going to take anything else. The Dear McCracken is basically on every set list. Be Glad I Love You, Disco in the Panic Room, and Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost is pretty much on every set list. But that was before I released Happiness Without a Catch, which was 11 pretty decent songs. And from what I've found from playing them in the UK, where I was trying to give like 3 or 4 of them a chance every night and kind of see what shook out and what people knew. And people seem to really kind of know everything, which was pretty cool. Like I would say like Coward maybe it was like the least like known of everything, and it still like got a pretty good sing along. Nothing got a bad sing along. It was just whether it like, you know, blew me away or if it was like a kind of a normal kind of like Key to Being Lonely-esque kind of sing along. So if Coward was the worst one, sitting in a good spot. I think A Bedtime Story will probably end up, unless people get sick of it, before the tour starts. A Bedtime Story went really, really well in the UK, and it's got the music video now, and it did pretty good numbers on TikTok and all that. So A Bedtime Story might end up being added to the list of songs that I play at every show. And then there might be some sets from Happiness that I play one or the other. So like I think I'll play Not Like That at half the shows, and then maybe I'll play like Shocking Plot Twist also went really well. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be kind of Happiness heavy probably this summer. Not the whole thing. I'm not gonna play only Happiness songs, but as long as people seem to be enjoying them, and I'll probably be playing a little bit more Happiness than everything else. Maybe Key to Being Lonely might kind of drop off set lists. Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna see. I did do a Happiness playthrough in Richmond a couple weeks ago, where I played all of Happiness, and then I did like 8 more just other songs as a second set. But I can't do that this summer because I have Matt with me, and if I play 2 sets, then Matt plays 0 sets, and people would probably not be happy with that. So, speaking of, here's another song. Sarah, you're the only girl for me. Sarah, you're the only girl for me. It's terrible, unbearable. Oh, Sarah, it's not fair at all. Oh, Sarah, you're the only girl for me. This week, in the shop to pick up some lunch and asked the cashier what the hell shawarma was. Her name tag said Amy. I said hello, I'll take number 5 and make that to go. Then changed my mind, hey maybe I'll stay. And Amy just smiled, gave me my change. I ate in the corner, she took my tray, along with my heart and my breath away. Cause Amy, you're the only girl for me. Amy, you're the only girl for me. Don't blame me, don't restrain me. Oh, hey, I'll say this plainly. Oh, Amy, you're the only girl for me. This week I like the way you don't even know me, and I like the way you don't even know me, and I like the way you don't even know me. That's the key to being lonely. Maybe today I'll hop on the bus and ride to my stop and not fall in love with the cutest one, the one with the book instead of her phone. Like the rest of them, I won't sit by her, I'm not that brave. I'll sit right behind her, out of her way. She won't know I'm there, but when I get home, I'll write her a song, and this is how it goes. Oh, bus girl, you're the only girl for me. Bus girl, you're the only girl for me. I trust, girl, you must, girl. Of all the girls in the bus world, oh, bus girl, you're the only girl for me. On the D-line, I like the way you don't even know me, and I to being lonely. Was a kid, I watched all the shows, I heard all the songs and learned how it goes. I will be cool, pretend I'm important, get all the girls without working for it. I know the truth, I'm not one for boasting, I'm just too cute for them to approach me. If I repeat it, I might believe it. If I repeat it, you might believe it. I like the way you don't even know me, and I like the way you don't even know me, and I like the way you don't even know me. That's the key to being lonely. Thank you, everybody. I played that because Email wrote a great essay about it yesterday, and then somehow managed to accidentally hit the notification for the stream and be here right when everyone was talking about it. Pretty cool. Pretty weird, Courtney. Not incriminating on its own. Thanks, everybody. I like that song a lot. Oh, Bubbles is still watching. Just playing Gmod at the same time. You made me think you left, Bubbles. What do y'all want to talk about? Okay, we got some questions. Yeah. Caleb is asking, which song on Happiness Without a Catch did you have the most fun writing? It probably had to be A Bedtime Story, just because of how I wrote it. All of it was just throwing things in and just seeing like whatever worked. Let's get a banjo sound. We'll do some bear voices and come just messing with it. Like, it was a very fun day making A Bedtime Story and just seeing if I could come up with something that matched like what I wanted it to be. So loved that. Trying to think on the inverse, which one was the most frustrating to write. Not Like That came together super quickly. 30 Plan was an old song that was rewritten to a new song. Same for Alchemical Romance. Platonic Best Friend was supposed to be a bonus track on Bigger Than Myself, and I replaced it with Magic 8 because it wasn't ready yet. Shocking Plot Twist also came together very quickly. Coward was kind of a day-ish to write. Robbing a Bank and Fan Fiction I wrote back to back. I mean, I wrote their one song, so I wrote them I wrote Robbing a Bank. I was like, okay, I got the first half. Now tomorrow I'll write fan fiction, so I wrote fan fiction the next day. One Armed Hug was so I guess given all that, Bedtime Story is definitely the most fun I had to write and record. It was a blast. Is there anything we can do at the live shows to indicate we're a stream viewer? Yeah. So y'all do this to me. Y'all do this to me a lot. Collectively, when I'm at a show, you will shout something out that is so live stream coded, and I'm like, this person's a live stream viewer, and I know for a fact. You'll say something like Youth Tooth, or other examples that I can't think of right now, and I'll sometimes have to stop whatever I'm saying and explain the inside joke to everybody else, because while I love y'all, there's 60 of you spread out throughout the entire world, and we've already sold over 2,000 tickets for this show. It's only been 2 weeks, right? We play for a lot of people, and when you're like dispersed like little sleeper agents, like maybe one per crowd, and none of y'all know. None of them know the inside jokes, and so I have to explain them sometimes. But yes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a prank on future me. If you come up to me at a show and you just say, Youth Tooth, I'll know what that means. And I say this is a prank on my future self because I'm absolutely going to forget that I said this. So that's some very fun interactions that I'm setting up for myself in the future. Absolutely going to forget that. Y'all are going to do it. And don't be surprised when I'm like, Very cool. um, let's see, what else do we got? UU wishes there were a tour visit closer to you, but might try and hit the Nashville. Yeah, I'm sorry if we didn't. We try and hit as much of a kind of as many 3-hour radii as we can. So yeah, sorry if we didn't get close enough to you. But we got some pretty decent coverage this year. I think our biggest gaps were obviously the Montana, North Dakota area, and then anything north of Boston, like Maine. People want us to come to Maine a lot, and it might be next year's the year that we do that. This year we cut over to Buffalo. That's the one that people we come to Buffalo, come to upstate New York, and we never have. So we're okay, we always want to try and get some of these spots like Albuquerque, Buffalo, Orlando, that we just don't normally get on just the easiest route, easiest loops around the country that makes sense with big cities. Yeah, if we missed anything else, I know it's hard when it's okay, Houston is a city that we could absolutely go play, but we're in Dallas and Austin, so it's kind of can we pull the right crowds in all three cities back to back? I don't know. Cool. Do you go to St. Paul again next year? But St. Paul and Minneapolis are basically the same city though, right? At least that's how I treat them. I don't know of anybody who has said, "Oh, I live in St. Paul and I can't make it to Minneapolis," because they're right next to each other, right? But yeah, when I look in that region, Minneapolis and St. Paul, I don't target one or the other. I'm looking for something in one of those two cities, and whatever I find that works the best. So it just happened to be Minneapolis this year. So Bubbles, if you introduce yourself as your YouTube username at a show, I will remember who you are. Don't worry. I'll be like, you made that jogger give me a bad review, and make it the only video underneath my YouTube video. Margaret wants to know, what's the story behind the name Bug Hunter? Great question. It's my name. Corn says, Bug, I watched the review. It wasn't even that bad. You're right. But it wasn't good. No, I'm just teasing. I think I have been insulated from negative feedback about my music for a long time, because we're at such a size that nobody has anything to gain from publishing negative information about us, right? Whereas if you want to get views on your thing, your video, this week, immediately get that thumbnail with your face and it's photoshopped and you're making and then there's an arrow being Taylor Swift's new album sucks, and then people will click on it, right? Because they're oh no, that's an opinion that I don't like that, and then they'll go and they'll click on it, right? So there's something to gain from publishing negative reviews about artists of a size that people would be enraged by it. But if people posted this Bug Hunter guy sucks, people would be I don't know who that is. I don't care anything about that. So most people, if they don't have anything nice to say, they literally don't say anything at all, because there's nothing to benefit from it. And so for the most part, very few people actually publish or say outwardly, I'm reviewing Bug Hunter and I don't like it. He was fine. He was yeah, I like what this guy's doing. It's not for me, but yeah. And that's all he said. And that's my most critical review that I've gotten. I'm just mostly messing with Bubbles for taking credit for it. Yeah, I miss when you used to call me Margaret Bug. That was my favorite phase. Would you like more people to publish negative reviews of you? If that was correlating with my popularity, sure. I don't care if people don't like my music. It's not for everybody. If it was for everybody, I would be more popular. I know how the world works. But what I make is something that I love, and it's what 62 of you on a Wednesday night also enjoy. And I found my audience, so I'm not trying to please the world. Just trying to make things that I like and that speak to some amount. So. Caleb asks, have you ever been to a bonfire type setting with a guitar and just freestyled a song, or almost like started mixing random parts? I don't do bonfire guitar stuff because that smoke will get in your guitar wood and make it smell like smoke for a long time. It's not good. And since I don't have a cheapo guitar to bring to bonfires, I generally don't. I also don't play music much outside of Bug Hunter. So, yeah. Fried Heg says, new here, just started listening a few days ago from the Narcissus Cookbook. Welcome. Welcome to the osmosis bilayer where people pass freely between the Narcissus Cookbook and Bug Hunter camps. Yeah, I post all the chords to all my songs online because I want people to learn how to play them. Because when people play my songs, it makes me feel very cool. So there was a few songs that were posted by other people, and then I filled in all the gaps basically. And I try and have all of the songs posted like the day that like songs come out, so that people can like play them like that day. So. Yeah. And I'm not very good at guitar, so if you're a beginner, Bug Hunter songs are great for you. Once you get bar chords down, you pretty much got everything. So. Fox says, it's very nice. I can find the chords, and there's usually a little note that says, I know these chords are right because I wrote this song. Yeah, they make you say why you're, like, what you're changing about a song and, like, why, like, your, like, source. And so I have to put something, and so I just have, like, a little copy-paste thing that I was like, this is correct. I'm the artist. This is how I play it. I have been wrong before, though. I think I made one mistake. That was just a copy-paste error. So most of the old songs from Surge of Confidence aren't posted. That's a very good point. I only started doing that once people were actually listening to my music, and very few people listen to Surge of Confidence. Relative. I get about the same. I get more listens in 2 days for Bug Hunter than I get in a year of Surge of Confidence of Bug. So it's low on my priority list to get to, but. If you don't know what Surge of Confidence is, there's an old album that I wrote from before Bug Hunter that's up on Spotify and my Bandcamp. Blue Moon says, when did my music hit its growth spurt? When I first started listening, you only had 20 or 30,000 monthly listeners, and now you have over 150K. Yeah, I don't actually remember anymore. Dear McCracken was the first thing, so you definitely would have been listening around the time that the Rough Draft came out. That's probably about when I had 20 or 30,000 monthly. I don't remember anymore when I crossed 100. I've been as high as like 180 around the time that Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost came out. I think like 180, 186 was kind of like my peak. Not that I've peaked, just sometimes these things ebb and flow. Some of them are algorithmic. Though 2 years ago, I think we had kind of our peak, like 185,000 monthly listeners. 2 years ago, I was selling, like, if I could get 50 tickets sold to a concert, that was like amazing. And now, after 50 is like a very, very like low, small amount. We've sold over 50 tickets in basically every city. So while the numbers are like, okay, yeah, sometimes it fluctuates. We are still as popular. We're as popular as we've ever been right now. But yeah, it's been I think the reason I don't remember the growth spurt is because it wasn't a spurt. It was just a slow, like if you look at the chart over 5 years, it's just like just going up slow and steady, which I think is the right way to do it. I don't get too much attention that I can't handle it all at once. Everything is manageable. I know how to make decisions that make sense. Like last year, we sold out all of our shows like 2 months before the shows happened, and that was like a big learning experience for me, where I was like, oh gosh, like I didn't know that we were this popular. And now I'm like, okay, I know that here's what last year was. I know to get the right venues this time, and it keeps it so that I can manage everything and not get too overwhelmed with all of it. So and it also just means that, you know, we're building a fan base that is sticking with us. You know, I no longer fear that it's just going to disappear overnight like I did, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, where I just thought, okay, well, we'll drop off a playlist and then that'll be it. So. But it's very fun because I think, you know, because Dear McCracken is getting to be like 6 or 7 years old now, and I'll post like a TikTok or whatever with it on, and some people will be like, oh man, I used to listen to this when I was in elementary school, and now I'm like, you know, going to prom, and I'm like, oh man, that's weird, because I still feel like everything's all fresh for me. There's a lot of people that like you could have fully like gotten on and off the Bug Hunter train like 4 years ago, and thought like, oh man, that guy was a pretty good like songwriter. I guess he just like went away, and nope, I'm still out here. I'm still doing my thing, more popular than I've ever been. It's funny to be at a stage where like I feel like we're just like gearing up and things are going really well. Podcast just launched, got this new album that like is being received as well or as good or better than any album we've done in the past. But then there's people who are like, yeah, like I listened to the rough draft like in 2020 and I dropped off the face of the earth. So it's fun to be like, nah, I'm still here, doing my thing, getting bigger. And that a lot of that has to do with y'all sticking with me. I appreciate y'all always wanting to hang out and share my songs with people. Cool. Why don't I do one more song? Because we're getting here at 9 o'clock. So, everybody's asking for a Surge of Confidence songs. Why? Why you do this? Does anybody have any Bug Hunter songs you want to hear? Okay. All right. I hear you. You're here because you want the deep cuts. I see. If you wanted the Bug Hunter songs, I guess you can go to Spotify, huh? Mary Ann found herself in some trouble. She'd never seen a man that stood so tall. The fact he was so sizable made him too recognizable, and that man, he wouldn't stand for that at all. Trevor never punched his ticket early. Dependable to run 5 minutes late. Today he's bound to beat the clock, and that 4-way stop seems safe to cross. If only he'd been taught to look both ways. There is nothing you can do. I am coming straight for you. Stevie couldn't breathe when he found himself sinking, and Jenny's lucky penny was as lucky as Lincoln. And Austin got lost and never found his way back, and no one trained Janie not to walk on the tracks. Connor got the honor of a statue in the park, a monument to all the monsters lurking in the dark. And some might call it sad, I call it art. There is nothing you can do. Whoa, I am coming straight for you. lawless, though he heeded every story. He knew that he was smarter than the rest. He saw the world through window blinds. I'm staying here, I'll be just fine, until he felt that tightness in his chest. And death appeared before him, staring gravely. How else would he stare? Sadder than his average tragic case. This one stayed inside his cage and traded happiness for age. And death was sad, he quite enjoys the chase. There is nothing you can do. Whoa, I am coming straight for you. Thanks, everybody. That's New Chase. Maybe I'll just release it, call it New Chase. Death was sad, he quite enjoys New Chase. Change the line too. Thanks, everybody. That is a fun song. I play it the disproportion that I play the Chase on my live streams compared to like Disco in the Panic Room. I probably play the Chase 4 times for every 1 time that I play Disco in the Panic Room, because y'all asked for it. I don't know. Very fun song, very old song that I rewrote. I was gonna say recently. It's been like 2 years since I rewrote it. We recorded it. I just need to finish it. Yeah. So Fox says, what if I played just one more? I try not to play past 9 o'clock because I share walls with neighbors. So, but I will stick around for a couple more minutes if anybody has any other questions. If you've been looking at this graphic over here and been like, where can I learn about that? There's a link in the description that goes to our website that has all of the, either you can buy tickets on our website for some of the shows, or it has the official link to the place that you can buy them. All the tickets are now up for sale. It took Durham just a little longer than everybody else to get the tickets up. It was just 2.5 weeks. That's not that much longer. I didn't have to email them every 3 days asking them, hey, where's the ticket link? But it's up now, so you can go and get tickets to our Durham show. And maybe everything else has a head start on it. So that means there's just more tickets for Durham, which should still probably sell out. So I'm pretty excited for that. So you can go do that. Don't wait to buy tickets too long, because some of them are getting, I have a spreadsheet that color codes when things pass a certain threshold of percentage full, and it's starting to turn a little more orange than it was. And Phoenix just turned red, so I don't need to tell you what that means. Cool. I'll answer a few more questions before I go. Blue Moon is asking Mars, how did you become a mod for Bug? Mars was just so around all the time that I was like, here's a badge. Go clean up the streets. I trust you. No, Mars and Jams are mods that are just good people, good trustworthy people that have been around. And yeah, sometimes you just make friends on the internet. My dad is a mod. But I do know him IRL, so. Silver Kyrie asks, which songs do you want to hear a violin cover for? I can't decide which song to learn. The one thing that makes me think of is that the day that we tracked the cello for Take It Back and Listen to Your Mom, we also tracked cello for Deserve Me, which we ended up not using because it clashed with kind of the more rock sound that we had, and I sometimes wish that we had gone in a more cello orchestral direction for Deserve Me. I think at some point I would like to go and revisit that idea again. I was convinced to cut the cello for the guitar by the guitarist of all things, which makes sense, but it was just they didn't go together, the two vibes. So at some point I would love a more maybe a slowed down version of Deserve Me with cello. So, are there still VIP tickets for Indie in Chicago? I believe that Indie sold out today. If it didn't sell out today, maybe there's one left. Chicago, I don't know. Fortunately, Chicago, the daily email report that I get just tells me the number of tickets sold, and they don't delineate based on GA or VIP. As of the last checkpoint where I emailed the guy like 7 days ago and was like, hey, like how many of these are VIP? Like you're not telling me. And it was basically where we're at about 60% of VIP was full a week ago. I would guess that there might be a handful left. I'll get another check in on that soon, but cool. How often do I stream on YouTube? I try and do this on Wednesday nights at this time, and I try and do it Sundays at about noon Eastern time. I have been bad about it the last 2 weeks because I've just been on trips. I'm about to maybe get a little worse at it because I'm going on tour here pretty soon, about a month. So, obviously I'm not going to stream while I'm on tour, but the month of May I also have a couple things. I have a bachelor party to go to for a weekend that I'll definitely miss one. My parents might come visit me in May, and so I technically could stream, but it just depends on what we're doing. Gabrielle says, my husband were at your Pittsburgh show pregnant with baby Jacob, and unfortunately he can't snap. Not surprised. He has Pittsburgh genes, and people in Pittsburgh don't know how to snap. Worm on a String asked if it'd be weird if I made you a gift and gave it to you at a concert. It wouldn't be weird at all. In fact, I have a shrine of gifts that people have given me over the past couple of years. I have things on the wall. I have shelves that y'all can't see, and y'all will probably never see. Maybe I'll take a picture of it someday. The only reason I wouldn't is because like I have a lot of stuff, and I kind of rotate things in and out on the shelves. And so I wouldn't want people to be like, oh, I gave him this thing and it's not on the display. It probably was at some point, but I only have room for so many things at a time. So, just as long as it's not something that is like hard to travel with, because we have to like go from city to city. So if it's something that can't fit in like a small bag, then maybe send me a picture of it or mail it to me. Will you ever get more behind the scenes shorts on the tour bus behind the scenes? We have talked about, I think once we reach a certain point, because we don't have a tour bus, we have a tour van. We're not at bus stage yet. Someday maybe, but right now we're just van. And so van space is very critical and is very limited. So we've talked about maybe embedding like a videographer on a tour at some point. But as of right now, like, it can't be the responsibility of either me or Matt or Dad, because we all have different things that we need to be doing at any particular point. It's a lot of work to put on a tour. Our work day starts at 3 p.m. when we load in and finishes at 11 p.m. And that's our work day, and then in between that it's traveling and sleeping and all the in between things that need to happen between shows. So it's a lot, and so we would need someone dedicated to like do behind the scenes stuff and get it edited, because we just don't have time. So maybe at some point. So Fox is bringing bracelets with song lyrics. We love when people do that. That started happening last year very unexpectedly for us. I think Taylor Swift kind of has that, and people started kind of doing it at a lot of shows. And yeah, we love that. I have a bin of bracelets that I have gotten from people, and I love it when people bring those and share those. So Fancy Clan is going to bring me a newborn baby at a show. Funny enough, nobody's given me a baby, but there was a baby at a show was named after a Bug Hunter song. Like legally. I was like, that's rad. I'm not gonna dox the baby, but they were like, this is, and I was like me? And they're like, yeah. I was like, cool. And they were there at the show, and they had their little big old headphones. It's so cute when babies do that. Cool. Would you take a child shoot? No, I don't think I would. Well, no, okay. So the kid is keen on giving you his right shoe because it's his favorite? No, I'm not going to take the kid's favorite shoe. I appreciate it, though. bring me a picture of the shoe and I'll sign it. Or if you bring me the shoe, I'll sign the shoe, but I'm not going to take the shoe. So I will sign the shoe, but I will not take it. Dox the baby. I feel like I want to write a song called Doxing a Baby. Anyways, check that out on my next album. I'm gonna go because I'm tired now. So thanks everybody for hanging out on my stream. Let's see what other things. I talked about the tour. Handwritten postcard of the day I think is still available today. So if you want to get the handwritten postcard of the day, you can go to our website. And I think the link is in the description. Only one person gets it every day. And today is a good one. It's kind of a sad one. It's from Hide and Seek. So if you want a sad one, then you can go get it. Go listen to Jam Mechanics right now. Like, just do it. You're already sitting consuming media. I know that you can do it. You're not doing anything else. So I'm gonna end. Go listen to Jam Mechanics. Just start episode 1, and then message me in 40 minutes and tell me that it's not a good running podcast. I'm used to it by now. I can take it. Don't worry. Cool. Other than that, no matter where you are in the world, you're a goober and you should go to bed.